you'd be dead. Well, your man don't mean anything to me. And he keeps leaning in. Oh, man, they should be chasing you. Never chase a man. No, 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 never chase a man. And you're telling me that I got the looks that you can't compare. That your man can't help himself because of the color of my hair. Well, your man don't mean anything to me. And he keeps leaning in. Oh, man, they should be chasing you. Never chase a man. No, 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 never chase a man. And you sit around and you cry over him and you tell me that you're here to beg. Well, excuse me for saying, but that man ain't worth the time you take. 'Cause your man don't mean anything to me. And he keeps leaning in. Oh, man, they should be chasing you. Never chase a man. No, 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 never chase a man. Oh, no, 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 honey, never, never chase a man.
This is OpenAir 102.3 FM, Never Chase a Man, a response song to Dolly Parton's Jolene, as performed by Esmé Patterson. So, a while back, I remember I was texting you about it. Elvis Costello.
You're the one that told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like on a plane or something?
I was on a plane to Boise, Idaho, and I got a text from you. And I was just like, what?
Elvis Costello gave you a shout out for the song that you did, your response song.
Which is one of the
Allison.
more kind of mean ones. And I didn't even think about the fact that maybe he would listen to it. And I was like, oh, no.
So has anybody else heard these? Has Dolly heard?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't gotten any texts from you about it.
I know. I guess I will be breaking the news.
Let me know if you find out.
I will be breaking the news. So Woman to Woman, it came out here in the States last year and just this year in Europe, and you made it a special release where you added a few more songs onto it.
I did. This label out in the UK actually called Extra Mile put out Woman to Woman, but they were like, we love the record, we're excited about it, but we wish it was a full length. Are there any extra songs? And I was like, no, that's it. That's the whole record. And they were like, oh shoot, we really wish there were extra songs. And I was like, well, I guess I could write some more. Why not? So I wrote 3 more and we put it out in February of this year and went over there in support of it, and it was really fun.
Yeah, you gave a voice to Billie Jean.
Billie Jean? Yep.
She needed one.
Yeah, she's got a reason to be mad. And then I did Lola, kind of trying to touch on the whole kind of, I don't know, I'm a big supporter of the trans visibility movement and just trying to be an ally for that, for people that identify that way. And so I thought writing a response to Lola, including her as a woman, because she identifies as a woman, I thought was kind of important. And then I did a response to Bob Dylan's Ramona.
That one's a great one too. I love that one.
I love that song.
So how was touring Europe? This was your first
great.
time over there. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It was your first time over there, right?
It was, yeah. First time playing music, over there, and it was great. We were mostly in London, actually. We were not there for too long. But it was fun. They do drink a lot of tea. That was the part I liked. It was all the tea that they have, and yeah, the shows were great. I got to play some shows with Frank Turner out there, who's on the same label, and he's just a sweet guy. And yeah, we had fun.
Well, good. So you're going to play us a few more songs now. This was the first response song you wrote.
It's true. Mm-hmm.
Tumbleweed.
This is the first one. Yep.
Esmé Patterson in the CPR Performance Studio. This is Open Air 102.3 FM.
Bluebird, good morning, cottonwood. Out the window I see all that I'll ever need. Ooh. Young men come in from town laughing, fighting in the crowd. If you feel loneliness, that fear will burn you down. That fear will burn you down. And I'm not afraid. Could be any day. We are always alone until death brings us home. So good morning, cottonwood, and good morning, bluebird. Good morning, bluebird. And I'm not afraid to lie down in my grave. Be any day now, could be any day. Could be any day. Could be any day. Any day. Could be any day. Could be any day.
Esmé, that's your song Bluebird, a response to Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this song a lot in the past, but I don't think we have an audio record of it. Will you share the background on that one? Because I always listen to that on your record, and I'll press repeat and I'll press repeat and think about your friend and everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I was living in a house in the attic with a couple of friends in town and here in Denver, and they were nice enough to let me live there for free because I couldn't afford to pay rent anywhere and write the record, and so I was writing the responses and was kind of thinking about all of the different ways that people are silenced or are not able to speak for themselves. And in the case of the song Eleanor Rigby, she's dead, that somebody else is telling her story. And she actually dies in the song halfway through. And in the house that I was living at the time, one of my roommates, her mom was diagnosed with cancer, with terminal cancer. And so they were just kind of, they knew she was going to pass at any time, and she knew she was going to pass at any time, and it was just this really, I can't even imagine, what that felt like for the family and my friend who was going through that. And so I was writing this song and kind of felt like, what if Eleanor Rigby wasn't lonely? What if she was viewed as a loved one, as she was someone who had family, and she just knew she was going to pass at any time and was just making her way to being at peace, and just looking out the window and, putting her makeup on, in the jar by the door and all that. And I thought, what if she was just being, just taking her time with the world before she passed from it. And I was really inspired by that.
Yeah, I love that, being at peace with your fate.
Yeah. We're all gonna have to do that.
We've all got that in common.
Yeah.
So Esmé, you moved to Portland.
That's true.
How's that been?
I moved my stuff there, and then I left on tour for 3 months, and then I've been kind of on tour basically since then. So this town is great when I'm there, which isn't very often, but I do love it.
So you're saying you've been in Portland almost as much as you've been in Denver over the last year.
Basically, yes.
And what's it like being a full-time musician now?
It's amazing. It's the challenges of it are the freedom of it, where you kind of have to drive yourself, and you have to, when you're your own boss, you have to kind of set all of the marks that you're trying to reach. And there's an amazing amount of freedom in that, but it's also can be kind of overwhelming of like, what, somebody else just tell me what to do. I don't know. Just kind of like staring in the mirror, metaphorically speaking, a lot. So it was an interesting winter for me in that I was just like, I was writing a lot, and I wrote most of the new album that I'm going to make this summer. And so it was just kind of like an intense, solitary hibernation, and then go out and play shows. And yeah, so it's been like 0 to 60, and yeah.
I'm feeling tense for you right now. Or just like, yeah, that's a lot of expectations for yourself. Is there anything you're finding that you've loved? I watch you online, just, as someone that admires you, and I see, you're going to London, you're being filmed a lot more, the fan base is growing. People are like, come to our city, or I saw her, and I'm like, oh, I know her. That's great. Is there anything that you're really enjoying about, all that's been happening with you over the year that you just never really knew existed to you? Or
interesting. I've been having a lot of fun playing guitar and playing with David on the drums, where it's just like, it's really fun just being a two-piece, because I feel like we have a lot more mobility and freedom, and I'm having a lot of fun getting to change what I do all the time, since I having come from my background of being in Paperbird, where all the harmonies were really tight and you couldn't really change what you were doing, and I can like sing different words or sing different melodies completely, or just like stop in the middle and do like the Diana Ross talkover or something. And so I'm having a lot of fun getting to kind of map out my songs just how I want to do it. And it's that terrifying and beautiful thing where it's just you. You're the only one that is responsible for everything, but then you're also the one that gets to kind of have that freedom too. So I've been really enjoying the freedom, and shredding guitar is really fun too.
Nice.
I'm having fun rocking out.
So the first album, autobiographical. Mm-hmm. Second album, response songs, where you're, representing these women who are in these iconic songs. And now third record.
We're back to talking about my feelings in my life again. But this next record, I think that writing the concept record really changed the way I write, actually, where it was kind of shifted my perspective a little. And so a lot of the songs are on this new one that I'm writing are kind of negotiating more large ideas and kind of bigger themes, rather than like relationships or what do I feel like today or something.
So, I want to hear more about this new record. You're calling it We Were Wild, but let's pause for a moment, and you're going to play us a song. This is one of your B-sides, or the alternate tracks on Woman to Woman, the Euro release. You're going to do Wildflower?
Yes, and this is the response to Ramona, Bob Dylan's To Ramona. Back then I was changing like the weather. Back when I let you kiss my lips and I let you see my tears. But I sat down to write you this letter. 'Cause maybe you've been crying, baby, and I'm nowhere near. I went down to the south to escape the crowd. They all talk so loud, saying nothing at all, saying nothing at all. And the fever of youth, it keeps the mind so clean. We get hungry, we get reckless, we get drunk on our thoughts. We say right and wrong and nothing in between. We borrow to buy what can never be bought. So I went down to the south to escape the crowd. And they all talk so loud, saying nothing at all, saying nothing at all. And a wildflower dies just like a rose in a glass, but one bends back to earth and one's thrown in the trash. So I wrote you this letter, I was just trying to say. You said maybe someday you might need me, and if someday ever happened to be today, well, why don't you come down here and see me? I went down to the south to escape the crowd, 'cause they all talk so loud, saying nothing at all, saying nothing at all.
Esmé Patterson in the CPR Performance Studio, Wildflower, a response song that you can find on the European release of Woman to Woman, Esmé's sophomore album. That's a response to Ramona.
Yes,
By-
to
To Ramona by Bob Dylan. I gotta go revisit that song now.
Off Another Side of Bob Dylan. I think one of my favorite of his records, but yeah. I thought that one was kind of an interesting response to do also, because it wasn't angry. That wasn't like a he said, she said kind of thing, where in the song he's kind of reaching out to her and being really sweet and really kind, which, yeah, for him is kind of unusual. But that I thought it'd be nice to kind of write a response with sweetness to a feeling of sweetness that was just kind of like about nostalgia.
Yeah. So the new record, We Were Wild, you are going to record it this summer.
Yes.
Are you doing that at home in Portland?
Actually, literally at home in our house.
So you have like a makeshift bedroom recording
Well, actually,
studio?
we're building a whole big space. David's really handy and a carpenter and all that. So, yeah, building walls and making most of it at home, which is great.
And do you think it'll be out before the end of the year, or?
I'm hoping so. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it'll be out on Greater Than Collective?
you never know.
The
But I love working with those guys, and it's been such a fun ride with them so far. So
You've had such interesting rides over, the course of making music, but just in the last year, whenever I look at the Spotify numbers of how many plays Dearly Departed, which you wrote with Shaky Graves, like in a day or whatever, watching like the millions tick up on that. Is that wild for you?
I haven't checked in on that lately.
Don't worry, I'll text you about it.
Cool. That's where I get all my information is from you. I feel so grateful that people like that song and what I've contributed to it. And yeah, it's been kind of a trip watching that all happen. It's wild.
For me, it was trippy watching like teenage kids, because that show that you played here in December with Shaky Graves, it was all ages. So there was all these teenage kids, and I was standing up front with them, and they were like, "Bring out Esmé, bring out Esmé," and I was like, "Shoot, she is like a star now."
I don't know about that. Who knows?
Well, as always, you're a star for us here at Open Air, and stop by anytime whenever you're coming through town.
Here.
And
it always feels so good. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah, and if your studio's going slow in Portland, just come here and record. We'd be
okay. Cool.
David. Esmé Patterson on Open Air 102.3 FM. Details about her show tonight openaircpr.org with William Elliott Whitmore. She'll be opening up. She's also playing tomorrow in Fort Collins. This is 102.3 FM Open Air. My name is Alisha Sweeney. Dave Fender is our audio engineer. And thanks so much, Esmé.
Thank you so much for having me.